Hey guys, this is Travis over here at Cloud Defense. In this video, I wanted to go through and talk about some of the benefits of operating in Amazon Web Services or AWS versus traditional GoDaddy or HostGator or some of the other hosting services that are available to us. Within AWS, it's a very wide platform that you can go through and actually host all of your applications and all of your virtual machines. In this case, we're going to talk about WordPress today and going through and setting up those instances and hosting it there on Amazon Web Services for e-commerce or even a traditional type informational website that you have. So some of the things that you can basically control or have your own destiny on is security. Security is obviously a big thing, especially if you're dealing with e-commerce or credit cards or any other type of financial transactions. Within AWS, you're able to go through and keep your instances up to date. You're able to enact security measures and able to enact security policies on who has access to that machine and what it is that they're actually doing. So it's very important to go through and come up with a good security plan that you're going to have before you implement your website. Another good thing to have is backups. Within AWS, you're able to go through and create real-time backups, whether it's of the database within WordPress or with the actual EC2 instance that you have running there. You can create nightly backups and they can be automated, so at any time you can go back and restore from those backups that you have on there. Unlike with GoDaddy or some of the other traditional ones, they may not have some of the real-time or point-in-time backups that you would be able to benefit from within AWS. Usually within GoDaddy and HostGator, you're going to have issues if you go through and try to run a parallel site. It's going to cost you extra. They're going to charge you for that extra hosting and everything. But within AWS, you can actually take a snapshot of that production box and load it up as a test box or even a development box and be able to go through and make all your tests and changes right there in like a live production environment. And when you're done, you can actually roll it out in the production and switch it out in the load balancer. Speaking of load balancers, with GoDaddy and some of the other web hosting companies, they usually charge $250 to $300 a year for a SSL certificate if it's a wildcard SSL certificate. However, with AWS, they have an ACM or what is called a certificate manager, an Amazon certificate manager that AWS offers. If you have a load balancer, it's included for free with that load balancer, which is super nice. So if you're running multiple sites or multiple websites or multiple domains, you can tie those free SSL certificates to your load balancer, so that way you can go through and have an SSL HTTPS connection on your website. Another thing is scalability. When you go through and you have a number of instances where you're going to have a spike in traffic, with GoDaddy, you're limited on a certain amount of traffic that's able to go to and from your site. And if you get 500,000 or a million hits on your website in the course of a day or an hour, for an example, it's not going to be able to handle that load. So it's very important that you're able to go through and auto scale that environment. And within AWS, you can create what is called auto scaling groups. And with those auto scaling groups, it allows you to define a minimum set of instances that you always have running, which may be one or two. However, if the traffic gets up to a certain threshold, you're able to auto scale and add additional instances to be able to handle that load and be able to scale it out to 15 or 20 or even 100 instances if you want to be able to handle all of that network website traffic. This is what a lot of companies are doing right now, like with Spotify or Netflix or some of the other big, companies that are out there that are operating and running on Amazon right now. Now, one of the last things is if you go through and you move your website, your WordPress website out to AWS, it kind of opens up the door for a lot of other options. If you're just a mom and pop shop and you just want to put your website out there, that's great. However, if you're more in the technology field or you require more computing power, instead of going through and investing all of that money and all the hardware and the racks and doing all the wiring and the cable management and the cooling and the power requirements, You can go through and you can provision your instances. You can start up an AWS within 5 minutes or less, and you can be off, you know, doing all of your cloud computing stuff without any type of overhead, without any type of, assets that you have to purchase or wait to build on or manage or repair. So that's something very interesting and something to think about and to consider, by going from traditional IT to a cloud-based solution. Now, if you have any questions or would like to move your website to the cloud or have any issues with security or anything else like that that you would like to go over, please be sure to come and contact us here at Cloud Defense. And the website is clouddefense.us. Thanks.